All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Happy December 9th, Tuesday evening. Jason with TCP Super System here. Uh, Finally, some relief in the market, I guess. We had about a, 3% give or take increase in the crypto market cap today, up about 80 billion. But today's show, we're going to be showing you a couple of these charts, and I'm getting a little excited. I think you've been seeing this downturn and what these signals look like. We're starting to get to the point where I believe we're going to start seeing that tick back higher, and you're going to get to see what this system does when we're hitting those peaks instead of the troughs. So pretty excited about what's to come in the next 2 to 4 months. So I hope you stay tuned so you can see the other side of this system and not just the downside. Um, so you'll get to see what just a different viewpoint here. But today's show again, we're gonna be looking at Bitcoin XRP, Cardano, Chainlink, Near, Solana, SUI, and then two stocks being CleanSpark and Zone. Zone being the one that was in the $500 stock challenge. Starting to see some increase in price action there, so excited for that. Considering I'm way down on that myself. Um, Again, I have to do my disclaimer: TCP Super System signals, interpretations, trades. None of it's financial advice. This is for information and education only. Please consult an advisor before making any trades. With that said, let me show you this for Bitcoin. Here's your daily view on the left, weekly on the right. You can see the zone that was identified. We nailed the bottom again. This is going back all the way to November 21st when we hit the bottom down there around the 80,000 mark. The upper zone we have identified is around 130 to 140. We've started to come out of the upper, I guess this upper edge of this box here. But look right here on the daily view. What are you starting to see? White line is approaching the upper extremes. Orange line is entering the green zone. We've got a crossover on the short-term hot sensor. We bounce on the weekly view. That's a bounce right off the 100-day moving average. That, my friends, is a beautiful chart. Now, remember what we typically say. And we've got a confirmed uptrend right here with this yellow label and a green cloud formation. And improving hot sensors on the medium and long term. We usually bump back above the cloud to areas of resistance, which would be these moving averages, where we would expect to see most likely a retracement back to that cloud, resume higher. So right now we're in that pump above the cloud. So we're going to be paying attention around this 98,000 mark to see if we come back a little bit. So stay tuned. Now, we don't necessarily come back every single time. This is what's going to happen here. We're going to be looking for this white line to be up in these extremes or higher. If that goes higher, takes that orange and blue line with it, and that orange line gets above those extremes and stays up there, that is what we want. That's where you get your big run. That's your bull run. We're just not quite there yet because this thing can still turn over just like it did these last two pumps. You saw the white line get almost to these extremes, but the orange and blue line right here, it hadn't quite made it to that green zone, and what do you know? It turned over. Pumped again, still wasn't there. Turned over. It's pumping this third time. Third time's a charm. Now again, we did another day or two here. We're going to likely be through that green zone, so I'm getting pretty excited here. That is Bitcoin. Obviously, we saw Michael Saylor. If you go and look at his chart, his buys, I think he just made a huge $90 million purchase here the other day, and this should show us. Let's see, that was 93 million, or at 93,000, he bought. No, that's 12. Nope, one more. Let's see. Yeah, December 8th, he made a purchase of $962 million worth of Bitcoin at a price of 90,005 or 90,653. So you got people putting in almost $1 billion, folks, at these prices. Yeah, don't take it from me. All you gotta do is watch what they do. XRP, again, I just want to show you this. We covered this the last couple of days, so nothing really not going to rehash everything here. But again, we're starting to see that improvement in that standard deviation. We're almost up to the red zone. Another day here, and could likely see the same thing here. Now, you did see XRP run a little bit today, almost up to 217. It's since retraced back down to where we are now at 211. So I'm hoping we hold here. Again, we've got zones identified on both ends here. So, we'll see. We're not out of the woods just yet, but I'm liking what I see. Cardano, look at here. This one's even better. This one's in the extremes now. Orange line is entering the bottom of that green zone. If you can see that right there. This stuff doesn't lie, folks. I mean, so we're like literally a day away here. Again, pump above the cloud. I wouldn't be shocked to see a little retracement as we get around the 50-cent mark back to wherever that cloud is at that time. Now, remember, that cloud's going to continue to move. So we'll see if it retraces a little bit, or it could go ahead and retrace today and tomorrow back down and then go higher. So we'll see, if it can make this 50-cent mark, then retrace, then boom higher. Again, just like we saw with Bitcoin, we got a crossover on that short-term hot sensor here. That's positive. At the same time, medium and long-term hot sensors are improving from orange to yellow to blue. Then it's going to go gray, white, crossover. So that's what we're looking for here. We've already got the first crossover. Again, that's coming off of level 3s on the weekly view. The only thing I'm concerned about is right here. This is a weekly view, so it's much longer term. But if we hit the bottom of this cloud, again, if you'll notice, it's truly remarkable. The 200-day moving average right now is right at the bottom of that cloud on the weekly view, right around the 50 to 53 cent mark. That just so happens to be right around the 50-day moving average on the daily view. It's amazing how that works. So that's why I feel like that's going to be where we need to pay attention and see if we get a retracement there, which would just be more opportunity. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that. So liking Cardano here, looking pretty nice. We'll go next up, Chainlink, now trading about 1447, up 5% today. And again, look at here, folks. This is our second bump in the standard deviation. Is the first bump. That orange line didn't quite make it all the way through the green zone, and it turned over. Now this one didn't come down near as much, but look at what happened. We had the pump above the cloud, approached resistance there at the 50-day, retraced back to the cloud, and did exactly what we always tell you. Boom, here we go. Now, given we already had the retracement, this one could be pumping higher, folks. This is how I do it. Crossing over on the short-term hot sensor, improving on the other hot sensors, coming off level 3s on the weekly, right off the 200-day moving average, which is always massive support. Upper zones identified between 24 and 27, currently at 14. That's almost a double up here. You got our standard deviation line moving higher toward those extremes. Looks like that orange line is almost about to penetrate the top of that green zone. That's what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it. That is Chainlink. Can't tell you to buy anything. That's a pretty chart. Pretty. Near protocol. Looky. Some of these look better than others, but massive pump here toward those extremes. The orange line on this one hasn't quite made it yet, so that doesn't look just as good as the other ones just yet. And you'll notice we're closing in the cloud area volatility. So I would be more cautious with that one. I like near long term for me. But again, we're probably 2 to 3 days away from that. If that can maintain, we'll see. But this could be we were all in the zone here. Again, upper zone, 325 and above. So again, almost, not quite a double up there, but that's pretty big. Again, we'll see if we pump toward these areas of resistance at this point and then get a retracement. But we haven't quite seen the pump above the cloud yet. So, which could be opportunity. Depends on how you look at it. So yeah, this stuff's starting to look fantastic. Solana. Hmm. I hope Solana runs. It needs to run. I'll tell you what, I'm shocked it came this low, but check, same kind of view here. Pumping through the red zone on the white line. Orange isn't quite there yet. Probably another 2 or 3 days there as well. Want that white line to get those extremes. This will be our third pump to those extremes. But you can see those first two. Again, orange line hadn't made it yet, and it turned over. But this might be, a lot of these are looking similar, so this could be third time's a charm. I hope it is for everybody. Get ready. Enjoy the ride. We already did that one. Let's go SUI. I mean, I don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. You can check me. Tell me what you think in the comments. But here we go. Pumping above the red zone with the white line. Orange line is about to enter it. So I would say another day. But look, the bottom down here, look at what we had. We had two of the hot sensors were red. We were in the zone. So I always like diamonds or liquid leverage liquidation zones, right? I keep saying it. We had the pump above the cloud. It didn't quite go as high as it normally would, but what do you see? A retracement back to the cloud. Boom. Here we go. I mean, my story and my logic don't change. We see what we typically see. The system captures it. I bring it to you. That's all I can do. Again, these hot sensors are now starting to improve, crossover on the short term, improving on the long term, coming off level 3s again. But again, the bottom of that cloud is going to be around 204, which is a little bit higher than the 50-day on the daily view. So pay attention to that 50-day moving average. Might see a little volatility right there. But again, massive upside here, $4 plus. That's more than a double up on SUI, like SUI long term. Big institution adoption from institutions there. So that's all the cryptos tonight. We got 2 stocks, CleanSpark, or maybe 3, CleanSpark, Metaplanet, and Zone. I'll do Zone first because that's in our $500 challenge, portfolio challenge for me. We're finally starting to see some positive movement off this bottom down here. We had all the level 3s. We've been telling you that for the last week or so with these red zone. Everything was red. Got level 3s. That's what we look for. Now we're starting to see some price action. We saw almost 4 cents up today, which is almost 12%. So we just need that to continue. That's that Dogecoin treasury company. Again, if you go back and look at Doge, it had a very good day today. It's already got ETFs out there in the spot market. So pay attention to Dogecoin as we go forward. Those ETFs haven't been doing as good as we thought, but we are starting to see some inflows, and hopefully we get some more. So that's Zone. Metaplanet, that's another one that we've been saying could be a stock pick of the next decade for us on the stock side. That's just my opinion. Again, everything's been lining up. Look at here. Standard deviation methodologies, again, looks like the cryptos. White lines in the extremes, pulling the orange line through the green zone now. Confirmed uptrend label on the yellow label here. So that means we're getting a transition from red cloud to green. We've been in a red cloud going all the way back to roughly July 3rd. So it's been several months here. Had the red zones. I mean, this is how the system works, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just bringing it to you. So I wouldn't mind to see probably some sideways chop here. We're right around the top of the cloud here, which is exactly what we want. We can expand that to show you. So a little pump above the cloud, choppiness back to the cloud, and then looks like we might be on a run here. So we'll have to see. Beautiful. It really is. Then CleanSpark, this will be the second time we're going to nail this one. We nailed this first run up here. We told everyone when it was trading at $11 down here, 20s or 30s, it made it all the way up to 23. Came all the way back down. We started hitting a level 3 down here around November 14th. Again, pump above the cloud, area of resistance at the 50-day, back to the cloud, and then boom, first candle. Here we go. So we're going to see what this thing does. White line is improving toward those extremes. Orange line is already in the green. Another day here, we're probably outside the green. That's what that typically signifies. Positive price action, just areas of opportunity. Not telling you to go buy anything. Again, not financial advice. But that is the show, ladies and gentlemen. That was a quick one. If you appreciate good TA, that's original. You can't find it anywhere else. If you get value from this stuff, you can see what this system does for me, how we keep nailing it. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Don't miss these videos. Let your friends know. Like I said, I think we're trying to approach 600 subscribers here. And listen, I'm truly grateful for my subscribers. This is not a monetized channel. Probably should be. If we can get to 10,000 subscribers, I'd be extremely satisfied. I'm not trying to get 1 million people here. I think there will be some opportunity for us to bring some additional features next year, though, if we can get to that 1,000 mark. I would like to do a couple things, which I'll keep to myself for now. But I think you would find some pretty good value in some of the ideas I have for next year if we can get there. So all people need to do is click on it and subscribe, and that'll help us get there. But again, if you found value in all that, you know what to do. We'll see you next time. We love you. We appreciate you. Hope you feel a little more informed here tonight, and hope you start getting a little more excited. I think there's some real opportunity here to see some upside action. Again, there's still some geopolitical stuff out there that could drive, be almost like a black swan. So just pay attention to what's out there, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you.